undying hope is raising up a generation of leaders to transform the future of South Sudan, in keeping the hope alive of vision for South Sudan and beyond, to make the world a better place.
Hello. Welcome to Undying Hope Media. This is TL Thomas Dull, your host today. So this is our second, surprisingly, our second podcast on leadership. So we will be talking, all the things that we'll be talking about will be leadership. So today we have a new topic. We'll be talking about assigned leadership and emergent leadership. So these are two different types of leadership that are out there, and you find them in organizations. You find them in government institutions and private sectors. So assigned leadership is a type of leadership that you are assigned to a task. It's a mission. You have a boss that assign you to do something, to be a head of a department, to be a director, to be an associate, some leadership form. So you are assigned to that position. So that is assigned leadership. And as I mentioned in our last podcast, that I'll be sharing more and more bits of insight on leadership. So today you would learn these two type of leadership, the assigned leadership, and also the second one is emergent leadership. Emergent leadership now is different, and most of these podcasts will focus on emergent leadership. Emergent leadership, it has nothing to do with the title, but it also can be, you can have a title, but you're also emergent. So emergent leadership, it works in a way that a group of people accepted you, embraced you, and trusted you to lead them. So they gave you the power to lead them. So that is emergent leadership, and we'll be talking more about this today. And researchers, Ellis and Fisher, they identify some of the characteristics that talks about how emergent leaders comes up. For example, they talk about verbally involved. So emergent leaders, they communicate their thoughts, their ideas across. You will see them right away. You see the person that is coming up with new ideas, and you know right away. The group would know right away that this person is an emergent leader. Some emergent leaders are informed. Say they know what they talk about. They have the skill set that it takes. They are knowledgeable. So the group will know right away that this person is an emergent leader, regardless of whether they have title or not. And that would make emergent leadership so unique, because you can be influential, you can affect change without having formal title. Emergent leaders, they seek people opinion. So they go out of their way to seek people opinion. And a person that is not emergent leader would not do that. They feel that if they ask somebody for an advice, if they ask somebody for feedback or evaluation, it means they put themselves less. But not so with emergent leaders. Emergent leaders, they go for advices. Emergent leaders also initiate new ideas. They come up with new ideas. They come to a place, and you find them coming up with ideas that would help that group to grow, to thrive, to advance. So that make those are the characteristics that you can tell that this person is an emergent leader. Emergent leaders are also firm. They are not rigid. They are firm. When they talk, you see that there's something unique about them. And if you look around in your community, in your family, at your work, there are always emergent leaders. You can tell by how they communicate, by whether they seek advice or not, or opinion, whether they are affirmed, or they come up with some ideas that would help that group or organization or the country. So you would find that emergent leaders are in any setting you are in, there is somebody there that is emergent leader. Last podcast, if you didn't get the chance to listen, please go back and listen. I spoke about trait personality. Like for example, you see somebody that is tall, people think they are leaders because of their height, and that is back then and even now still exists. Like I mentioned, even in South Sudan, you see with a lot of tall people, you think the tall relate to leadership. If somebody is tall, it's not, but it's not so. Or somebody is extrovert, that's shine and just show up right away and talk, and that not always. That person can be emergent leader, but it may not have the potential or capacity to be a leader. So extroversion, it doesn't mean that you are a leader. Or somebody with multiple languages. So I spoke about a lot and how it started back then when trait personality was related to leadership. So the same thing, emergent leadership, some of personality also come into this emergent leadership. Under this emergent leadership, there's also gender bias perception. Peter Northouse spoke about gender bias perception. And what it means here is a perception that if you put women in one place as a group and they discussing a topic, something, you will see that emergent leader will emerge there. A woman with leadership potential, with capacity to lead, a woman that is so influential, has everything. Now you take the same woman that was so influential and you put among men. Now people will favor men over women that has more leadership ability. That's why it is called gender bias perception. It is gender bias, and so it. For example, we also have I call it minority bias perception. For example, in South Sudan or other countries, when you are among the minority, is more of you don't have leadership ability. And I want to drive you home to South Sudan. Just last week, South Sudan president appointed a new governor for my state, Northern Barkazal. His name is Simon Ober. He is from one of the smallest tribes in South Sudan or also within Northern Barkazal. Now that was unique, and people were so happy. It didn't happen for decades. A person from that tribe to rise to be a governor of the state. That is very unique, and you find that a lot of people supported and love him and wish him all the best. The same thing. Women can be really, really great leaders, and I hope sometimes I hope South Sudan one day will be led by a woman. Because women, they know the pain of childbearing, 9 months of carrying a child, and then raising that child. I can remember, I remember with my wife, with our children, she will wake up at night to check on the baby. If baby is crying, she would see it, she want to know why the baby is crying. She would disturb her sleeping to take care of the child, to take care of the baby, to feed the baby, to change the baby. I do help when it's needed, but she does most of the things. So she knows what it means to have a baby and what it means to carry a baby. So they will not take a country back to war. And this is the beauty of a leader, a woman leading a country, or leading a company, or leading organization. You find there are positive outcome. So gender bias perception, it is a perception that diminishes or hinders women's abilities. So if we can overcome that, if people can overcome that is only a bias. Women can lead. Women, they have the potential, and give them the opportunity to lead, they would do well. Sometimes I think of I think of we in South Sudan, we give women, it used to be 25%, and now it's 35%. Sometimes I question that. Why should men give women 35%, for example? It's again gender biased perception. Instead of giving women 35%, why not educate more women, more girls, put them in school, give them quality education? They can compete and take our country to the next level. And that can happen. They always said, if you educate a woman, you educate a nation. If you educate a woman, you educate a nation. So gender bias perception worked against women. And I just gave an example of two groups, and how a man that's less qualified will be favored over a woman that is qualified. The last thing that I want to mention under emergent leadership is a social identity theory. Social identity theory, what it means is, you as an emergent leader, you go to a place and people accept you, embrace you, trust you. Now, over time, the group that you've gone to, they have a prototype. They have a way of living. Now, they have to give you that identity to be part of them, to trust you, to allow you to lead them. They allow you to lead. It's not you because of your leadership. It's the people. They have the power. Now, I want to give you an example of my wife and I. Years ago, we were given an opportunity to go and work in Kajukeji. It's a county in South Sudan, bordering Uganda. So when we went there, we were not right away trusted because of different reason. Among them is us being a different tribe, and also coming from the US, and so many other reasons. Now they have their own way of living. So what my wife and I did was, we give ourselves time to be with them, to get to know us, and we, over time, we build trust. There was a trust between us, and then they start to welcome us. Instead of observing us or resisting us, they start to welcome us. They embrace us. We go to their home, we eat together with them. They come to our home, we eat together. We go to villages, we spend time there together in their villages. And we become part of them, of their makeup. And that's what you call social identity theory. And it's very important for any leader, if you are an emergent leader, and that can happen to anybody, is you build that trust, you build a relationship, you coexist together. Just a recap, we went through two types of leadership: assigned leadership, that you are assigned to leadership position, or you have a title, or emergent leadership that does not necessarily have to be a title, but you are influential, you have capacity to affect change. And next episode, we will be talking about relationship, leadership to power, leadership and coercion, leadership and management. So that will be coming next, and stay tuned. Thank you for the time today, and I hope you got something that beneficial that will help you to grow, and also learn something that you will go and help other people. Until next time, take care of yourself and each other. Thank you so much.